The Voyage of the Last Demeter, starring Javier Botet as Dracula, Aislinn Frantiosi as Anna, Corey Hawkins as Clemens, and Liam Cunningham as Captain Elliot.
Warning, this content contains extreme spoilers and beyond.
This movie is set in the 1800s, and an entry log from Captain Elliot is narrated as the Demeter is seen abandoned just offshore. The entry log isn't saying anything good. Then we jump to before the Demeter leaves for its last voyage, and they are in need of crewmen to help transport its cargo. Clemens is one of 3 men to join. Things are normal as we get to some brief interactions with the crew as they eat, and Clemens gets all philosophical. Later, something falls in the cargo hold. A woman is found. Some of the crew members wants to throw her overboard, but Clemens takes responsibility for her. Eventually, it is discovered that all the animals in the cargo hold is, or wherever they keep the animals at, they all been killed in some unexplained way. 40-something minutes into the movie, we get our first human death by a weekend Dracula. The woman who was nursed back to health by Clemens finally comes to top deck with some vague-ass warnings and is ignored. I don't know the lore on Dracula, but because of the words at the beginning, the very beginning of the movie, I get the impression that is part of Dracula lore. This movie, the Demeter, all of that. I think that is probably part of it. Soon, another attack takes place with Dracula bashing a guy's face into the deck of the ship and biting another, causing him to become zombie-like. Then the movie does something I didn't expect. The captain was sailing with what I believe to be his grandson, or something like that, but sad to say, he doesn't make it. It is at this time when the crew actually sees Dracula for themselves when he gets the child. They take the zombie-like man top deck and tie him to a post, and then he gets burned by the sun, set on fire. I suppose they do nothing until night comes, when only Clemens decides to go look for Dracula. The woman goes with him, and also one crew member bonks a man upside his head so that he can take one of the smaller boats off the Demeter and escape. It would have been a smart move, but Dracula can fly, so he gets got. Clemens and the woman finds Dracula's coffin and Dracula's fancy cane. Next, while attempting to throw the boy overboard, the captain is badly burned, but he's okay. After some protests, they plan to sink the ship with Dracula on board. So while I was researching the movie, if you want to call it research, I found that it is part of Dracula lore, and Bram Stoker has written a book. So with that knowledge, it's unlikely that their plan on stopping Dracula is going to succeed. And indeed, Dracula does survive, and Clemens hunts him in London. The woman was bitten and catches fire adrift on a piece of the Demeter. The final scene is of Dracula taunting Clemens before disappearing into the streets of London. I think it's an okay movie, especially when it, gets vampire-y near the end, and given the source material, you already know how the movie ends. I recommend this movie because what else are you gonna watch? I'm Ron Stringer, and you can hound at me about something else some other time.